Well, welcome to the podcast, y'all. It's just gonna be me today. Usually it's me and my brother, but today just gonna be me. He gone. He living life. He doing what he got to do. So it's just me today. The goal is for next week to start live streaming this so that maybe I could be interactive with different people. But as of right now, when I just tried to do it, it said that I'm ineligible for 24 hours. So we gonna have to wait till next week to do that, but that don't really matter. Um, I'm a little sad because I don't have my brother here today. Because when I talk, I like being able to interact with people, so it's not just me and my thoughts. It keeps conversation flowing. It makes me stay on track because I feel like I have a tendency to easily divert or go off track. But what I did was today I actually have a topic, which is rare. Usually me and him just have a conversation, but I actually got a topic today. And what I did was I got some uh bulleted notes so that I could stay on track with what I'm talking about. And it links to a video that I'm about to put out anyway. So yeah, this is just gonna be me today. Hopefully everything goes smoothly, but if not, don't matter to me. Having fun, supposed to do. But anyway, yeah. So the topic or the video, you gonna see the title says escapism. Escapism. Why are you running? What are you running to? Why are you running? You ever seen that little meme where it's like, "Why are you running?" I think that's funny. But anyway, yeah, let's start. So the reason why I even started, or the reason why this even got brought up, why I'm even talking about this today was, um, I believe that Yah puts you in situations on purpose, and then you're just supposed to keep Yah's laws through whatever situation, and then through that, think about it. You can learn something from it because you got put in that situation for a reason to take different things from out of them. So, with that being said, um, I began to when I think, I don't just I try not to just think in my head because that's how you get to spiraling and overthinking, and then you don't really think to a specific point. You just go all over the place. So what I've been doing is, one, I'll either record my thoughts, like the actual audio, come back to it later, or two, I'll write it down and try to get to a point. I think people do this when they have diaries and stuff like that, but if that's what you want to call it, that's what you want to call it. But usually it's just about life, trying to analyze, learn, study, not just float. But anyway, what I have noticed is, in life in general, no matter where you go, what you do, people tend to just try to escape from reality. Um, Now the reason for that is a lot of different reasons, but it all kind of funnels back to the same point, which I'll get into later on. But specifically, I've been in different disagreements lately, right? And inside of those disagreements, um, I just speak truth. It doesn't really matter what the situation is, but I'm gonna try my best to speak truth. And when you do that, um, it's naturally gonna bring you back to the point of what Yahusha said, where he says, "Think not that I've come to uh, bring peace, but a sword." even in Enoch, it says that truth and peace. I think it's Enoch 14 or something like that. But it says pretty much in the end, truth and peace will be united. So right now, truth and peace are not united. So when I have conversations with people, when I speak truth, if there's no peace, that's to be expected, right? But when I begin to not question, but I begin to just uh, begin to look and speculate and study people after you bring them truth, I keep coming to the same conclusion. They escape from it, and there's different ways they go about escaping it. So, um, try not to get too personal, but I had a disagreement with the individual, and what they decided to do once truth was brought to them was they wanted to shut down the conversation, not because I was saying anything wrong, not because I was yelling or being belligerent or crazy or anything, but the truth made them feel very uncomfortable. And when you feel very uncomfortable, I shouldn't say when you, what the culture breeds is when you feel uncomfortable, you find something that is comfortable and you try to run from that. And if you're bringing truth and truth is uncomfortable, they're going to try to do something to make you go away. So, and this is why it's important to be very sober. And when I say sober, sober minded, that doesn't, I mean, obviously, I don't think you should be drunk or high or anything like that, but I'm just saying be sober minded so that you can stay level headed and realize what's happening and not take things ultra personal. But when I can't lose this point, y'all. This is why I like what my brother is here. When I would bring the point to this specific person and I'm speaking, I noticed at different times what they would do is they would find something that they think that I'm insecure in, or yeah, I'm just gonna say that they find something that they think I'm insecure in, and they try to use that as a weapon to try to separate themselves from the thing that's making them feel uncomfortable. So if they think that I'm insecure about anything, they're gonna throw that dart at me and try to get me to stop saying truth and act out. Now I have no witness if I act out because I'm acting just like them. Um, then the next thing that they'll do if they see you don't really have any weaknesses is what I'll just say, because I think we all have weaknesses, but maybe it's harder to get to it. They will try to use their insecurities as their defense mechanism or what the world tells them. So I'm gonna use this as an example. Most of the time in the world right now, if you talk to somebody and they do something that you know is wrong, you can be a mirror. You don't have to judge them, but just tell them what the situation is. Um, they will use something that society has given to them as their defense, as if that's an excuse for their wrongdoing. So, an actual example would be the ADHD thing. I use this a lot, but it's just interesting to me that I'll talk to people, and I think we talked about this in our last podcast. How people are they are beginning to identify with something they're either dealing with or something they're going through, instead of having it just be that, like, that's just an experience that I'm going through. They identify with ADHD. So if they do something that they know is not right, they'll say, "Oh, that's just my ADHD." Well, that's not an excuse for doing the wrong thing. Um, and another thing, which I have written down over here, that's why I looked over here. There was when I used to deal with, I'm just gonna specifically talk about women in relationships. Um, when I used to get into disagreements with them, especially when I was like out in the world, for like really, really out in the world, uh, what I would notice them doing, and keep in mind, this is still about escapism. I'm getting there. Hopefully, you're following me. But I would get into a disagreement with them or something that causes us to separate, right? And social media is huge, right? So what they would do is they would go make a post on social media about it, which I always thought was like, even when I was not so involved with y'all, I always thought that was very weird. But to step it up a notch, instead of people doing that and they're going through their own feelings, what they're doing is somehow they have a quote from somebody else that deals with their exact situation, and they'll repost it, which just means for the people, for the old heads, it's just somebody already made this post, so you reposting it because you agree. And what was very interesting about that is social media in general is most of the time is full of people who are not very mature. Um, and when I say mature, emotionally for sure. And then on top of that, we understand that our heart is wicked, right? Um, so if you're not judging how you feel and subjecting that to the word of Yah, then you can't solidify your faith in that feeling that it made you feel. You gotta compare it to Yah and then um, solidify it in that. Hopefully that makes sense. Cause it's like, let's say something happens and you're like, oh, I'm so mad, blah, 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 blah. Then you write down, oh, I'm mad, blah, 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 blah. You're solidifying that feeling and you're not acknowledging that the way that you might be feeling could be wrong because you're not even judging it. You're just saying this is what it is. And then once you find somebody who agrees with that, now because you have more than one person saying the same thing, you believe that that means that it's truth. Repetition doesn't necessarily mean truth, but on social media, because you can find any and everybody who says the same thing, then we got a bunch of people who think they're running with truth without being able to verify it. And that's really dangerous. It's dangerous in two ways. Sometimes you can find truth online, right? But the way online works, and I was watching a podcast and I thought that this was very important in a good way to put things. Sometimes it's not necessarily the information that you're receiving that's bad, but it's how you're receiving it and also when you're receiving it. You don't need everything all at this one time. Plus, the amount of information that you're consuming when you're online is so much that you aren't really able to absorb it, digest it. It's like indigestion. Like when you eat all this food and the food isn't even digesting, it's just there. You're not gonna be feeling good. You're not gonna be able to take in any of the information, nor are you even testing everything that you're seeing. You're just trying to ingest it all and hoping something stick. But that's just gonna cause anxiety. But that's I think that's besides the point. My whole thing is, and I'm trying to stay, that's why I keep looking over here. The point is, if you're agreeing with somebody without testing it, is probably wrong. And not only that, going back to escapism, the whole reason why you most likely ran to social media or whatever else was because you were escaping the reality of the situation because the situation made you feel uncomfortable. If you sat back and you tried to judge, okay, or you tried to say, hey, y'all, I just got out of this really strange situation. Can you show me where I went wrong, or can you um show me what you need to show me? Show me why I was there. Uh Most of the time he'll show it to you. Sometimes maybe he won't. Maybe he wants you to figure it out, which a lot of times he wants you to try to figure it out. How do you figure it out? Pick the word up and read it. It's very simple. Or go talk to somebody who you know is well versed in the word, and then they might be able to give it to you or show it to you in a different way or walk you through it, because it's not just about somebody giving you something. You got to figure it out. When you figure it out, you really got it in you because you had to go through the work to get it. Which I kind of talk about in the video, but I'm gonna just keep talking. And I got on here, revelation without fruit leads to destruction. Or, and I'm gonna try to explain to you like how Adam was. Adam and Eve had everything, but nothing to prove that they could handle it. And look what happened. Look at us right now. Look at how bad sin is in the world. Look at everything. It's looking pretty bad, right? Revelation without going through it leads to destruction. And that's what this culture breeds. The culture breeds something called instant gratification, right? I'm going to give you an example. If you want to laugh, you can laugh immediately. Why? Because you can just pick your phone up and look at something to make you laugh. If you want to feel pleasure very strongly, what do? You can go out to the club, go do whatever you want to do. If you want to taste something very sweet, you can just go get something sweet. Instant gratification. That's what the culture breeds. Whatever you want, you can get it. Amazon. You go on Amazon. Usually you have to wait for stuff, right? Overnight delivery. Whatever you want now. It's an Amazon warehouse probably 10 miles within everybody. Like it's getting kind of bad, but that's what the culture breeds. And I just said that breeds destruction. When you think about a seed, when you put a seed in the ground, it takes time. It takes patience, right? That's one of the fruits of the spirit, right? Is instant gratification the fruit of the spirit? No. Does it help you get there? No. Instant gratification breeds destruction. Instant gratification breeds, if I want something, I'm going to get it now, no matter what. Now, going back to the argument example or the disagreement example that I just gave you, if you have a disagreement, you have to sit there through the uncomfortability to come to an agreement, which takes time under pressure, or it takes time being uncomfortable. Sometimes maybe that disagreement gets so uncomfortable that before something happens, you do have to separate. Yup. That could be a thing, right? But you don't run to something that's going to make things worse, or run or escape from the truth of the situation. You just kind of cool off. But instead what we do is we run to things that cause more issues. Now, why does that happen? Understand that Yah made everything, right? And his he has like love naturally multiplies, and you can see that his fingerprints are all throughout nature, and he is love. So what he produces is love. So when you think about uh I don't know, just think about it, two zebras. Two zebras come together, make another zebra. You went from two zebras to three zebras, and then you get that going and it multiplies, right? If you got one tree, I mean you got a seed, that seed you planted, now you got a whole vine of fruits. Now it's multiplied. Um, no matter what, Yah's love multiplies. When you go to the scriptures, promises to multiply the seeds of Abraham beyond the number of the stars, right? I think it's Abraham. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Um, but you understand what I'm saying. It multiplies. Now, when you go to somewhere like and actually, hold on, let me see some. I think I got this on Isaiah. I think whoops. I think maybe. Yeah, I do. I just want y'all to focus on when the enemy fell from the sky and he said, I'm gonna be like the most high. Right? This Isaiah 14 for anybody who wanna come here. Um when that happened, uh he's trying to copy the most high, because what the most high did is the only way things can be. Like, I don't know how else to put it like that. Like, put it, you can only copy what the most high did, because what the most high did is literally the best thing that you could do. um so that's all he can do. So when the enemy has a seed, understand that his seed is also going to multiply. So when you escape to something that's not of Yah, that thing is going to multiply. And just to give you some more proof behind what Yah made being what's the best, if you think about a bird, how does a bird look, right? Well, we think we're so cool because we can make airplanes. Well, how does an airplane look? Like a bird, which Yah made, right? When you look, they got bikes where you can bike in water, right? If you look at how that bike moves, it's just like a what's them flat things? A stingray. It's like gliding through the water. Um, Anything that we make, to make it the best way possible, all we do is mimic what Yah has already done. That's what the enemy also will do. He just perverts it and does it in the way that he wants to get to fulfill his own will, right? So if he can get you to um indulge in escaping from truth to do things that is of the enemy, and then you enjoy the things that are of the enemy, he got you. Because guess what? The seeds that are planted are going to multiply in your life, and you're gonna get you're gonna be real lost when that happens. And we are all lost at some degree. And that's why we have to work our way. When I say work our way, I'm just saying out of being lost. We can just keep on trying to seek truth. Just keep seeking truth. And that's all we can really attempt to do. But I also want to bring another scripture to you. Hold on. This is Second Ezra 7. I got 56 here on this board in front of me, but I'm gonna just give you some background to what I'm reading. In Second Ezra's, if you look into reading Ezra's, some people say call it third and fourth Ezra's, but the bottom line is Ezra is a prophet who he's fasting and asking Yah a lot of questions. I think Yah sends Uriel, an angel, to tell him different prophecies and to speak a lot of different things to him. But during this time, Ezra is pretty much like, hey, what's the point of all of this if we? And I'm gonna just read. I'm gonna start right here. He says, "And that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. Then answered he me and said, This is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight, that if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, Choose thee life, that thou mayest live. Nevertheless, they believed not him, nor yet the prophets after him, no, nor me which have spoken unto them, that there should not be such heaviness in their destruction, that shall be joy over them that are persuaded to salvation. Now, you keep on reading here. Blah, blah, blah. Answer them said, I know he's merciful. He has mercy upon them which are not yet come into the world, upon those also that turn to the law. The reason why I read that and paired it with what I'm talking about the seeds and everything, is usually what will happen, and this is all going to lead to escapism. Usually what happens is, just like Ezra said, we just do stuff and we don't think about what the cost of what we're doing is. And then once we do, we know that, dang, I'm cooked. So once people just say they cooked, you're overcome at that point. And once you're cooked, you just think, because I'm cooked, I might as well just go all out and just ain't no redeeming me. I'm cooked, right? And that's why even Yahusha says at the end, he who overcomes shall have I believe it says he shall have everlasting. It's something along the lines of that. I think it's in dang, I can't even think right now. Y'all know what scripture I'm talking about, hopefully. If not, Google it. Google, he who overcomes shall be crowned. It's coming to me. I can't think. I'm gonna keep going because I'm gonna get lost. Just Google it. And the scripture will pop up for you. Anyway. This is why I said I wish Josh was here. He would cover for me right now, but he's slacking. He ain't on his job. But when you read that scripture in Ezra's, it tells you there's two different types of people. And it's the same thing Moses was trying to say. It's the same thing everybody was trying to say, is we all know we messed up. But just because you messed up, you can keep trying. Keep trying, right? His mercy and his grace is for the chosen who turn to the law and keep trying. Not to those who say, oh man, I'm cooked. I'm just gonna stay cooked. Not even gonna try. The reason why I brought that up with the seeds is usually what happens is there's a seed that's planted in you, whether that's the most high or the enemy. When the enemy seed gets planted in you, going back to the example that I said about you escaping from something that's uncomfortable, usually you go do something that's comfortable, and that seed in itself, whatever you went to go do, most likely is the seed of the enemy. So, for example, let's say, especially with everything that's going on in the world, you get really uncomfortable and you're anxious about everything that's going on constantly, right? Guess what they did? If you go outside, well, I don't know where y'all live, but you go outside, it's a dispensary on every block. You think that's on purpose, or you think that's on accident, or what? I think I've said on this channel plenty of times, they make a problem and then give you a solution, and the solution is also a problem. And then now that problem, which was a solution, needs another solution because it became a problem. And then now you gotta now you stuck. You stuck in the forever ending loop, right? And that's how seeds work. That's what I'm saying. It multiplies. That's why you have to stop trying to escape from the truth. Um, also want to talk about how people like you, and I'm a I don't even know how to, I don't know what the word is right now, but I'm guilty of this same thing where you be at the store, right, and you standing in line, and it's I don't do this anymore, but it would be real awkward, and I wouldn't know what to do. I feel like a creep if I'm just sitting there looking around. But why? Nobody really knows. So I just pull my phone up, and I ain't even doing nothing. I'm just scrolling. I'm literally just scrolling back and forth between my apps. Like, or I check the weather. Nobody texts me. I don't need to check my phone for no reason. I'm just doing random stuff because why? I'm trying to escape from reality. You don't look at it like that, but that's exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to escape from reality to your own world. So you don't have to deal with the real world. Now, why do I do that? Because culture has trained me to do that. And like I said, when I get trained to do that, me learning to escape from reality in just that instance, understand that I'm trained to do that in other instances in my life as well. And that's why I'm talking about seeds and saying that it multiplies just like Yah. When you seek Yah and the commandments, that's going to multiply in your life as well. That's why when he says, go and make disciples, that's naturally going to happen when you just speak truth to people. Somebody's going to follow you, and then maybe it's a few people, and then they start doing the same thing you doing, and then they going to make disciples too. And guess what? It's going to multiply. I believe there's a parable that says the kingdom of Yah is like and I'm just going to say, for lack of better words, it's like bread with, when I say leaven, y'all, I know a little leaven's a whole lump, but the kingdom of Yah is supposed to be like that, but not in the instance that it's literally leaven, which represents sin. I'm just saying the way it works, because that's how love works. Like it starts small and it multiplies. And another thing that I wanted to talk about was, and I keep looking over here so I don't get lost and I can stay focused. The things that are natural lead to life, and the things that are unnatural or unlawful lead to death. So the things of Yah are natural. If the world was in its natural state, it would naturally we wouldn't have to worry about anything. It would just keep going in its cycle and keep replenishing itself. Whatever it needs, whatever anything needs would just naturally work out. But it's when we go outside of the natural and then try to insert ourselves is when things start to go bad. So, for example, look at the food. The food is unnatural, right? What does it cause? There's a there's so many diseases that if you go to the doctor right now, they don't even know what to tell you you have. They just give you a blanket answer of you got IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. What is that? We don't really know, but seems to be some inflammation going on and it's causing some issues. So how do we fix it? Um, just watch what you're eating, I guess. We got you could take Tylenol if it hurts though. And then if that don't really work, just go to the store and find some like anti-acid and that'll probably help you out a little bit. Or probably don't eat dairy. That will probably help you. They don't really even know what's going on, right? But understand that all these different issues are caused by the unnatural things that we're putting in our body, which is why we have all these different diseases that we are coming up with now, right? And it doesn't just start with the food. Anything that's synthetic, anything that's unnatural, gonna cause you some issues. Why? Well, I just said natural, aka lawful, leads to life. Everything else leads to death. So connected with what I just said, the natural way of gaining fruit in your life is what? Naturally going through the process. Now, if you're a tree, you have to have patience to get through things, right? Can a tree escape from its reality? No. Nope. So you can't escape from your reality. The more you try to escape from your reality, you're probably going to end up dying. Why? Because you're going to go do some things that are not lawful, which lead to death. And it's going to multiply. When you think about an apple tree, which I bring this up a lot in the video that I'm going to put out, but if you think about an apple tree, you plant the seed, it grows up. You went from one apple to a tree. Let's say it got 100 apples on it. Well, let's say there's such thing as a negative apple. It's a bapple, right? Now that bapple is going to turn into 100 bapples. And does a tree eat its own apple, or do other people eat that? Other people do. So you're multiplying the bapple. Now you got a tree full of bapples. Now you got a world full of death. And then when you look at this world and you think, dang, how did we get here? Whole lot of bapples, right? Why? Because nobody wants to turn to the law. Actually, the main religion of the world actually says, nah, don't do nothing with that law. Only do these ones. Do these ones right here, and everything else, don't really worry about it for real. It don't matter. Oh. Oh. So can I trace that back to the beginning? Like what you're saying? Nope. Oh. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. That doesn't really make too much sense to me, but maybe it makes sense to you guys. Um it's gonna get even deeper to the point where when I say everything that is natural leads to life. You it's natural for you to die, right? Why are we trying to figure out how to not die? Because dying leads to life. But that don't make no sense to most people. So they try to hold on to their life, but end up losing it. Like, for example, look at uh plastic surgeries, BBLs, um, anything else that tries to make it seem as though you have life. What does it lead to? More issues, which lead to death, right? I'm out the gym. I'm going off track and not talking about what I said I was. I'm getting back to my board over here. I'm sorry if I went off track, y'all. I tried. My brother not here. He was my escape. I'm just playing. Um, cat under was due attention to, so and her. Um, I'm just gonna read what I have on here. It says trust imperishable items. That's what that's what we're doing. When you going back to the let's say you in an argument or you just in a situation where you're uncomfortable and you go to escape and you escape to something like drugs, pills, alcohol, anything that'll give you a strong feeling so that you don't have to be uncomfortable. Everything that you're running to is perishable, meaning it's going to go away. So why not put your faith in something that can never leave? Because guess what? If you put your trust in your friends, well, one day your friends could turn on you. One day your friend could pass away. If you put your trust in alcohol, one day the alcohol shelves are going to be empty. Then what would you do? If you put your trust in weed, one day there's going to be no weed. If you put your trust in pills, one day that pill ain't going to be there. Or one day um that pill ain't going to be, I mean, we, this is why I got to stay on the topic, because especially pills, anything they give you, these things, when they multiply and they multiply so much in your life to where you're relying on them, they just become strongholds. And now you are you're very far gone. It's very, you have, remember how I was talking about like people identifying with what they're going through? Now that thing that you escaped to has meshed with your identity. It's like if you imagine your soul to be perfect. You got a Rubik's cube, right? Pretend this white part is your soul, and I'm about to mess this up too. This your soul, right? Once you you start doing it a bunch, right? I don't even know where the white side went, but oh, maybe it's this one. It done meshed with your soul, and then it's hard to get these out. And you think this is you. Now you've identified with all these other colors, but these ain't you. So when somebody says something that goes against these, guess what you do? You attack. I'm sorry, you defend. Because somebody just attacked you, but that's not even you. And that's why it's dangerous to pick this stuff up, pick up these habits and these different things, because you'll lose yourself. Then you'll start defending lies. The natural man has to distort the truth and able to stay in his reality. That's how you breed liars. And you start lying to yourself so much that you became a liar, but it's so deep that you don't even know you're a liar because you believe your lies. And the only way you can see is how you pray to Yah. But if you a liar, why do you need Yah? Because you can just make whatever true in your reality. That's why it gets deep, and I try not to even say stuff like that, but it's true, man. I want to find this scripture. I'm gonna attempt to 30 seconds to find the scripture. I've been reading the Wisdom of Solomon lately. Real, very similar to Proverbs. Hopefully I can find the scripture, man. Hopefully I can. Oh. No. Um yeah, it's looking like I can't find it. Either way, the whole reason why I was bringing it up was righteousness and the fruits of righteousness endure forever. They are eternal. So why not put your faith in that? Why not put your faith in something that's eternal? That way you good forever, even after death. Why not live? It says the kingdom of heaven is within you, right? If that's true, live there by doing the things that are eternal. If you practice the things that are going away here, where are you from? Because I'm not from here. Let me stop, bro, because I'm finna. Now, the reason why I'm even bringing any of this up is because what's going on right now in the world, there's a lot of narratives which are being pushed, which, since this world breeds escapism, it's going to make you escape to something. So, you keep reading the Ezra's. There's a book called, I've been reading it. It's this guy. He was in the he worked in the military, worked in the government, seen a lot of weird things. I think he was more of a, at his time, I think he was a baby Christian, because he was talking about patriotism and he was saying he believed in Christ, but was screaming patriotism and stuff like that. So either way, he had come across some files and some ideas and everything. He was like, and this was like 40 plus years ago, saying like, oh my gosh, they're planning on having a third world war. Oh, they're planning on having massive famine. Oh, they're planning on trying to wipe out a bunch of people. Oh, they're planning on having concentration camps. Oh, they're planning on releasing aliens. They're planning on doing all of these different things, right? And if there's baby things in your life which cause you to escape to something that makes you more comfortable, and like I said, those things get you more put you in a deeper hole and teach you to continue to stay in those things and just keep teaching you to continue to keep escaping, that's what you're practicing. And what is that? Lawlessness, right? So if you practice lawlessness, there's gonna be how do I put this? Like a final escapism boss, right? A culmination of everything when all this is leading up to something. Gonna lead you to escape to something, right? And you're gonna have two routes. You have the one that's instant gratification and instantly gets you through whatever it is you want to get through. Or you're gonna have the route that is opposite of the flesh, right? And I'm gonna put it to you like this. Something that's spiritual is fasting, which doesn't feel good to the flesh. Something that's not is eating. Eating is very fleshly, right? So if there's two routes, one escape route is fleshly and one escape route is spiritual. Which route do you think you're gonna take if you practice escapism to the fleshly route right now? The law is spiritual, by the way. That's Romans 8, 6, something like that. It's in Romans. Tells you that. Which route do you think you're gonna take? I think I know. But and if you think that when you know how AI said he don't need practice. If you believe AI, if you think that you when the game time come that you just gonna be a star, all right. Okay. If that's what you want to put your trust in, that's your choice. I don't think I did a good job staying on topic, but I'm almost done, y'all. Part of the reason why I'm saying all of this is the reason why people get uncomfortable and they escape from different things, and the reason why people get upset in the first place is because a lot of times what people are going through, they don't think they deserve this. But the whole reason we're on this earth is to go through stuff, right? Because revelation, or when you're given power without going through anything, it breeds destruction. So guess what? You have to go through stuff while you're here. So the whole reason why you here is to go through stuff, right? But people are so prideful that they think they don't deserve this. They don't have to go through this. This shouldn't be them, right? Who do that sound like? America, right? The reason why I bring this up is you going through and you escaping and doing all the things that you're doing is unlawful, and anything that's unlawful gets judged. Like if you everybody, most people I know, they speed. Well, nobody see you, so you're not judged. Well, Yah's watching over everything that everybody does. So everything that happens has to get judged. Otherwise, is he righteous? Right? He's merciful and righteous, right? So he judges everything, even if nobody sees it. Like I said, I'm not from here, so I live by the rules as if I'm not from here. So in there, I do no wrong. You do no wrong there. So why would I practice doing wrong here when I know what that thing leads to? You escaping, and going back to when I said people start lying to themselves and thinking that the stuff they do is okay. That stuff does not go unnoticed. but it goes unnoticed for so long, then you end up having things such as the Epstein files, right? Nobody knows this stuff is going on, so it gets to get to that level. That's why things have to get judged, and you have to go through the sentencing process to get that thing out of you. Otherwise, you're going to end up just like any and everybody else who's a celebrity that gets a lot of power, and then they end up doing some ultra strange stuff, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, why would they do that?" That's you. And America is the biggest culprit of that, right? And this is what I find so funny. Everybody that I know is mad at Trump, but Trump is literally you. Trump is the face of America. Trump is every single one of the people that I talk to. Just a grown up, like, this is the culmination of y'all. Like, I used to watch a show called, it was an anime. It was called Jujutsu Kaisen. And I won't go into like the whole lore of the show, but pretty much if many humans feared a water, right? Depending on the level of fear that they had of water, a spiritual being would appear, and their whole power is based on the fear of the people, right? And the strength of it would appear, and it would be that much stronger depending on the fear, right? I'm saying that to connect it to the Trump thing, where everybody is so prideful. Their pride has culminated into this human being, Trump, who is the president, who's doing all this ultra prideful stuff. And people are so mad, like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this and this. This is you. This is literally you." And the word says pride comes before the fall. So America is bound to fall. Where are you going to escape to? What are you going to escape to if this is what you're practicing? Whatever they give you, whatever the easiest route to go is what you're going to do. I'm telling you, this is what you're going to do. You don't have to believe me, though, but you don't have to believe me for it to be true. The last thing that made me laugh, and then I'm about to get off of here. I was watching a video. It popped up on my YouTube. It said, kid gets whooping on Fortnite for cussing, something like that, right? There was a guy playing Fortnite going against this kid. The kid was on the mic, meaning the kid wasn't the person recording. He was just on the mic going against the other guy that was playing. And you can hear this kid like swearing, right, on Fortnite. The dad comes in the room. You can hear it on the guy's mic and starts whooping him. And the kid is like, "I swear I didn't cuss. I swear I didn't cuss." But the dad heard it, right? And you could hear the kid also. So the kid's lying, first of all, right? He's swearing up and down that he didn't do it, right? But the dad comes in saying, "I told you not to cuss." And you can hear the dad whooping him. But guess what? Why was the dad whooping him cussing? "You mother, saying all this stuff, right?" And I thought that was hilarious because, like, you want your kid to not cuss. You whooping them for cussing. But you showing them that this is what you should be doing because this is what you're doing. How hypocritical is that? And the thing is, most parents think that that's okay. Most people think that this is okay. Where are we at? We're lost. What are we doing? That's how America look when they talking about Trump. Now that kid gonna grow up and do the same thing his dad was doing. Y'all did this to Trump. Trump was y'all kid. Being ultra prideful. Everybody was being ultra prideful about everything because that's what this culture has bred at this point. And then now we got this dude as the president and everybody's mad. What you mad for? This what you did. This is literally what you did. But hey man, hopefully I stayed on topic. I got a video dropping on this. So if you want to know a little bit more about the subject, why maybe stay on topic a little bit more, and I can give you better maybe I could do a little bit better job, man. I don't know. Hopefully y'all doing well, man. Hopefully I could next time I have my brother back or somebody.